There have been a number of drowning cases involving Singaporeans. A Singaporean diving instructor and his student, also a Singaporean, both drowned in the waters of Pulau Tioman Island in Malaysia. It was reported that perhaps the men did not realize the amount of air they had left in their tanks. Also, a 23-year-old Singaporean tourist nearly drowned off Phuket after he got drunk and ignored warning red flags by heading out to sea. And the body of a Vietnamese man was found after he had gone swimming off East Coast Park. And most recently, an SIM Global Education student went missing in the waters off Changi. He was paddleboarding with his schoolmates from the institution's windsurfing club when he suddenly disappeared. And we have in studio Richard Tan, president of the Singapore Life Saving Society, who is here with us. Now, Richard, we heard just now, seemingly even experienced diving instructors drowned in the sea. How much more dangerous is it to swim in the sea as compared to the swimming pool?
It's far more dangerous in the sea because unlike a swimming pool, it's not a controlled environment. You don't know the depth. It varies with the tides. There are waves, there are rip currents. These are currents that pull you seaward and can pull you quite far out at sea. There are lateral currents that prevent you from swimming to shore, that pull you sideways. And
you can't always tell that.
Yeah, so from looking at the surface of the water, you can't tell the movements of the currents under the water, so it is very dangerous. And visibility is different. It tastes different as well, salty.
Right. So, okay, some figures that were mentioned in the Today online. There are eight lifeguards who patrol East Coast Park, which is a 15-kilometer coastline. In contrast, Sentosa, which has a much smaller beach, has 10 lifeguards on weekdays and double that number on weekends. Why the discrepancy?
Okay. At East Coast Park, the lifeguards there are volunteer lifeguards. They belong to one of our affiliates, the Singapore Lifeguard Corps, the oldest lifeguard corps in Singapore, and they do it as part of their community public service. They have lifeguards there every Sunday and public holidays for a limited number of hours, whereas Sentosa lifeguards are professional lifeguards that are employed by the Sentosa Authority for their beaches. So that's why there's such a big discrepancy. So there are no beaches on mainland Singapore that are protected by professional lifeguards.
Why is that? Why is that?
I suppose the beach authorities have not deemed it fit to employ lifeguards. In my view, we should have professional lifeguards on the beaches on the mainland. As a comparison, if you look at Hong Kong, they have 54 gazetted public beaches, and the beach authority there provides beaches for most of their beaches. So Singapore is behind Hong Kong in this respect.
Right. So it's essentially swim at your own risk in Singapore on a public beach. Okay, what tips would you have for a bystander if they see someone who appears to be drowning but they themselves don't have the experience to save them? What can they do?
Well, call for help from the lifeguard if there's a lifeguard around. If there isn't, and you want to attempt a rescue, then you should attempt non-contact rescues. So ideally not go into the water. So if you have a rope, you can throw a rope. If you have floating objects, life buoy, rescue buoy, you can throw that to the drowning victim. If it's really too far and you have to move out, if you can't swim, you shouldn't get into the water because you put yourself at risk. In fact, many rescuers die in the course of trying to rescue a drowning victim.
All right. Yeah. Many thanks for your advice. That was Richard Tan, president of Singapore Life Saving Society, on how to protect yourself and your loved ones when out in the waters.